Hey, what is going on? This is Sunderland Senior coming back with another video. First of all, I want to give a shout out to a couple of my friends, Billy Bill, Ray, the one I call Brother Paul. Just want to give a shout out to you guys. Basically, today I'm going to be talking about Resident Evil Outbreak for the PlayStation 2. Now, the thing about Resident Evil Outbreak was that it was, I believe, one of the first online games in the Resident Evil franchise. It came out for the PlayStation 2, obviously. It came out on December 11th of 2003 in Japan. The PAL region came out September 17th, 2004, and it was released in North America March 31st, 2004. It was a PlayStation 2 exclusive. What can I say about this game? This game is like Call of Duty. Not Call of Duty where it's a first person, but it's Call of Duty like where it has maps. So you pretty much run around with an objective throughout every level or every map of this game, which is basically to escape into the next onto the next stage. So everything was locked. I think this game had about 10 stages. I could be wrong. Between 8 to 10 stages, more or less, maybe less. There was a ton of unlockables like art, concept art, characters you could play with. You did have a handful of characters you could play at the beginning, probably 8. I played with Kevin, who was a police officer. Now, every character in this game had a perk. Kevin, who was a police officer, always had he started off with a gun. There was a security guard, there was a scientist, there was a maintenance guy. The maintenance guy, his perk was really cool because he could combine like random items like a broom and other things to make weapons because he was like a maintenance guy. So he also had wrenches. So like there was a panel that you had to, if you didn't have the maintenance guy, there was a panel that you would have to take. It had screws on it that you would have to take off with the wrench. Well, the maintenance guy, he had a wrench in his inventory, so you could just use the wrench to take off the bolts to open the panel to get this valve handle that you needed to get to. If you didn't have the maintenance guy on your team, or if you weren't playing with the maintenance guy, let's say, for example, you were playing with Kevin, the police officer, you would have to find the wrench in the stage itself. So there was a doctor, and obviously his specialty was taking the herbs, making medicine out of it, making first aid kits, stuff like that. So this was a really cool game. The only downside to this game, the only thing about this game that was lacking was that it didn't have the headset option. So you could play this game online, but with the right thumbstick, pushing up, down, left, right, your character would yell like, "Come on, come help me this way." So there was no voice chat. There was no voice chat on this game, even though it was like an online game. Other games at the time, like the very first Killzone on the PlayStation 2, that did support the voice chat feature, which was really cool. But this game, I don't know why they didn't have a voice chat feature. I thought that would have made the game like a whole lot better, but it didn't. As soon as I get a chance, I will pick up Outbreak File Number 2 because there's 2 games. So you have the first Outbreak and then you have Outbreak File Number 2, which was a really awesome game as well. I believe that one, in that particular game, in Outbreak Number 2, you did go into the police station. In this one, you were in the underground labs of Resident Evil 2. So that was pretty cool. And I think in Outbreak File Number 2, you actually went into the Raccoon City Police Department. So that was pretty cool too. It expanded. There was more enemies. There was more, enemies were tougher, stuff like that. But yeah, basically Resident Evil Outbreak you can play it offline. I mean, obviously the PS2 servers aren't up anymore. They've been discontinued or they've been taken down. But I believe pirated servers are up in Japan. I believe I saw a YouTube video about that where there was people in Japan who built their own servers to play this game online. That's pretty amazing. Um, this is definitely something I would recommend you pick up and play and just kind of go through it. The appeal of this game was that it was the first Resident Evil Online game, the first Resident Evil Online co-op game, so you could play with your friends. But like I said, since then, obviously it's a PlayStation 2. Since then, the servers have been taken down. But it's a really good game to just kind of play through. You can't pause the game, so if you have to do something, you got to be committed to finishing that level in that sitting. So, for example, if you sit down and you play a level, you have to finish the level. You can pause, but it really isn't going to do anything. So if you're surrounded by zombies and you pause to go take a pee break, the zombies will still kill you. The other cool thing about this game was that it had an infection meter. So you had your life bar and you had your infection meter. So if you were obviously infected with the virus. So if you got bit by a zombie, your infection would get worse and worse. One of the things that was scrapped about this game was that you could play as a zombie. So they scrapped that feature of the game, which kind of sucks because that would have been really cool to play as a zombie once your character went full zombie. But so that was, I believe, the liquor. You could also play as a liquor, but that was also scrapped. But this is a really cool game. Like I said, it's something to play if you're gonna sit down and really commit to finishing finishing that level. Any questions, any comments, please leave them in the comment section. Once again, this has been Sunderland Senior. Any games you guys want me to talk about, please let me know in the comment section. Hope you guys have a great day.